little space. Well, we'll clear the energy of the space before we begin. A bit of light. Very good stone. It's known as the magic stone. Beautiful stone. Let's use a bit of vibration just to clear the air. I'd like to just clear the air with a bit of clear resonance before we open up and have our conversations. We shall wait for some to join us before we dive on in. Always good to breathe in deep, exhale, release a lot of the lower vibrations or negative vibrations that we attract and absorb on a daily basis from everything that we deal with. I find that breathing deep in the nose, deep into the diaphragm, exhaling out the mouth, basically allows the physical body to let go of stress. All right, so I highly recommend it to everyone. It is the basic form of meditation. And that's all it is. Doing that for 4 or 5 minutes a day really can reduce stress in one's life. So I highly recommend that to everyone. Use that as you see fit. When things are getting overwhelming, stop and breathe. Welcome, welcome. I'm Craig. If you have not seen me before, this is my live chat, Craigsworldrocks. And I welcome all you guys that are interested in having a listen to what someone like myself will chat about. It's Sunday night here in Melbourne, Australia, middle of winter, beautiful conditions. Freezing cold for those who are unaware or come from other parts of the world. Australia and especially Melbourne is right in the midst of winter. And very cold indeed. So basically, for those who have not seen me, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a live, but I am someone that thinks in a metaphysical way about life. So I am an individual that believes that what we put out as people comes back to us. So attitude is everything. How you are in life is everything. If you go around with a real negative attitude about things, you're going to find that a lot of negative crap probably keeps creating or manifesting in your world more than what you'd like. The basic understanding of someone that thinks with a metaphysical attitude is take control of what you think, what you say, and how you act. You know, because those three things go a long way to creating the things that you do want in your life. And, you know, predominantly that's what we're trying to do, improve our lives, right? I mean, people that don't necessarily have any real understanding about life, or people that follow groups that say, you know, listen to this particular genre, give your power to this particular belief, empowers that, or they give all their power away to that particular way of thinking. A metaphysical person pretty much thinks that we're a part of the all that is. We're a part of the universe. We're a part of life itself. You know, we all come into life in the same way. We're all born as human beings and we'll all leave the same way. So we're all the same. People that think that their way of thinking is the right way, etc., are usually locked into particular human beliefs about certain attitudes and so on and so forth, where a metaphysical thinking person is about we're all part of the same energy. We're all part of the same vibration. We're all part of the same universe. So, it's like the old John Lennon comment, we are one, John Lennon and people like that believe that we're all doing this together. The answers that you are looking for in life are usually residing within yourself, but most people don't have the courage to believe in their own thoughts and feelings and understandings. So, I talk about how I go through my life, when it comes to projecting, when it comes to attitude. You want to transform something in your life for the better, and you want to see whether, you actually do have a say that what you think actually does and can affect your daily life. I mean, your attitude is the bottom line. It's not about giving your power away to an imaginary being and saying that that being will make everything better for me. It's about empowering oneself and saying you're a part of that. You're a part of the universe. You're a part of existence. You're an important part. You're not less than. You're awesome. You're a human being living a human existence. Take ownership of that, rather than looking to give away your power in that area of thinking about life. How about taking ownership of that aspect of your life, that you're actually in charge, that what you do matters. I mean, it's so easy in life just to push all of that away and say it's someone else's, issue. It doesn't matter how I act. I don't have an effect on the world, blah, 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 blah. I mean, we've all been through issues in life. We've all had hardships. We've all had good things, bad things, etc. happen to ourselves. But at some stage, each person's got to sit back and have a good hard look at themselves and say, am I doing the best that I can do? It's not going to make anything worse by being a positive person and treating people like they're all family, treating people like they're part of your close-knit friends and family, Everyone is a part of your family in this world. We've all come into this world in the same way and we'll all leave the same way. There's no getting away from that one truth. So wouldn't it make sense that we're all the same? That we're all from the same place? So why would we want to treat people with, negative attitudes and controlling people for selfish gain and so on and so forth? If we're all a part of the same universe, understanding all that is, if we're all a part of the same thing, then it makes sense that you treat everyone as you would want yourself treated in the best possible way. What you put out is extremely important into, hey, unknown, how you going, mate? What you put out there is so important to how your own world transforms. You have a say in your life more than you realize. Like, it's sitting back and taking ownership, paying attention to what you're doing from a personal perspective, right? What are you doing on a daily basis? It's not about what you've done over the past 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years, whatever. It's about taking ownership of where you are now. Because if you suddenly come up with a new understanding or a new concept and you prove something new to yourself, don't dwell on all the way you acted from the past, because that's done. The only thing that exists in life itself is the now, is right now. And if you realize something better, if you come up with a better understanding for yourself, if you prove something to yourself, take ownership of it in the now and use it to transform your life for the better now. Use it to help the people that you care about around you take the ownership of their lives. You don't have to sit there and wait for some imaginary, hey, Bat Senegal, how you going? You don't have to, wait for some imaginary being to make your life better. You make your life better. You basically choose the things that you do. Even if you've been doing things without really taking ownership of them, having attitudes towards others in a way that might not be the most positive or whatever it might be. But it's when you actually take stock of what you're doing on a daily basis. realizing that there are beliefs that have been programmed into you that maybe aren't so positive, that are actually creating negative in your life now. You know, you can choose to change an attitude that you've got. If you look at the way you act and you say, you know what, I'm acting like a bit of a dick here, I need to do better, and you change that, then you change that. Don't hold on to the fact that maybe you were having that attitude for the past 5 years and you've been just saying the same stuff that wasn't so positive to people for an umpteen period of time. Just pat yourself in the back that you've realized something that could shift what you're creating in your world, because your thoughts are the beginning of you creating your own reality. That's stage one. Stage one, everyone, your thoughts. Your thoughts empower you, you empower yourself through your thoughts. You are more than the human being here. We're a part of ourselves here. We are one aspect to our who we really are, right? We're bigger than this human life, all right? Putting it in a nutshell. When you connect with who you really are, when you realize that it's about sending the right message to your, say, higher self or your larger being that is you, sending those right messages to yourself, that's when things start to shift. Because it's about understanding that your thoughts actually are sending those messages to your higher self to create more of the things that you are thinking about. You also then empower that from stage two, where you start outwardly saying the thoughts, where you get confident, you want to express that into the world. You want to make it happen. Part of the manifestation process. The thought, the idea, the expression. How does that sound when I say it in the real world, when I express it? The expression of those thoughts starts to make it more real. Remembering, we are living in a physical reality. We are creating things in a physical reality, right? First is thoughts, ideas. Second is expressing it. Now, a lot of beliefs will come up when you express things that you've never expressed before. A lot of beliefs within yourself about, can I really do something like that? Is that feasible? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? You know, you'll have a lot of stuff come up through expressing it, because you'll also get bounce back from people in your reality. They'll come into your reality. They'll say whether they like what you're saying. They'll say whether they don't like what you're saying. The second phase is grounding through communication and expression, right? And when you want to create something, then after the expression is the action of doing, the action of grounding it into your world, right? Actually doing the concept, stepping into it, being that particular type of person, the thing that you need to have in your life. See, a lot of people want things in their life. And yep, we can want whatever we want. But if you don't really need it, your beliefs will often not allow you to ground it, right? You want to understand and find the things that are passionate to you, the things that you truly want in your life, and you want to make sure that you really need them to create the things that you want to create in your world. Let's say you want to create more freedom, more movement, more abundance, so that you're not limited to, you know, doing certain things on a daily, weekly basis. You know, if you had more financial abundance in your world, maybe you have the freedom to travel more, to experience more of these, you know, places out there that you want to see. Maybe that's part of the journey of expanding and connecting more with who you really are. It does vary for everyone, but everyone has beliefs that have been programmed into themselves, limitations. When you have a limitation come up, and it's something that is, when you say it or you do it or you realize it, it's when you get that feedback, it's you realizing whether you need to change that whether you want to embrace that. If you're like, wow, yes, I want that. That's fantastic. I'm really happy about that. You're embracing that belief, that concept that just arose in your world. If you find yourself being really negative about something that you begin to do, and then up comes a negative belief about, you can't do that. You're not worthy of that. You're a piece of da-da-da-da. There's a programmed belief within that particular action. See, because as kids, we listen to everyone that's around us as we grow, right? And we'll have parents and teachers and adults around that have their own beliefs about life, right? And as a child, or as a young infant or child or impressionable human being, we're a bit of a clean computer. We're a bit of a new sponge. We absorb everything that's basically around us, because we see and hear other people expressing a certain thing, and we just automatically take it on in the sense that, hey, kids, Murphy, how you going? We automatically take these things on because we don't know any different, right? Like we're basically, we've got adults or adult humans influencing with their own opinions and beliefs when we're young and we're influential, right? We basically absorb these things and think that that's what it is. When the reality is that most of these human beings that have raised us are lost around what the concept of life is anyway, in a lot of cases. And it's when we become adults and we start to want to transform things in our own world that we start to analyze, what do I believe? Like, is that something that I believe? Or was Uncle Joe, used to say that all the time, and I've just taken that on because I was around him when I was younger? And that can be the case. And maybe you don't want to believe what Uncle Joe believed, right? Maybe that doesn't suit or allow you to create the things you want to create in your world. But you want to understand that all of your beliefs, if you understand the metaphysical way to think about life, that you create your own reality, that your thoughts and your beliefs actually are the things that are allowing the limitations and allowing yourself to create the things in your life. And you'll only allow so much in certain areas because of the beliefs that you hold. The beliefs are individual to every single person. Every single person's beliefs are different. From person to person to person, we all believe different things. Beliefs are a human concept. We have beliefs in this world because that's what we've been programmed to believe, all right? If you want more outside of what you're told you can have, you have to believe that you can have more, whether it's deservability, self-worth, self-love, whatever it is. You have certain limitations upon what you allow yourself to have in your life, all right? If you think, let's say you're someone that believes in religion, you give your power to a higher being that you hope will allow these things to transform in your life through you loving them and you giving your power to that higher being. A metaphysical thinking person empowers themselves. We are a part of the all that is. We are not lesser than, right? We are connected to the universe. We're part of it. We're conscious thinking beings, and the only beliefs that actually are real are the ones that we've created and have manifested these things here in this physical reality that we're existing in at this point in time. If you want to transform your world, you need to transform your beliefs of what the world is. There are no limits to what you can achieve. The reason that I understand this is when you set a goal for yourself, when you set any goal, it could be a sporting goal, it could be a financial goal, any goal. If life was rigid, if life was programmed and it was to happen always in a certain way, you would not be able to change it. You couldn't achieve a goal that you put out there. How could you achieve a goal when it's all set in stone already and it's going to happen to you? It's all predestined. If that was the case, you wouldn't be able to achieve any goals. We wouldn't have people breaking PB records in races. We wouldn't have people becoming multi-millionaires through their innovative ingenuity and creating of things. People create their own reality every day, and we prove it to ourselves every day, but we don't pay attention to that. That is the truth of life. What you are putting out to the world is coming back to you. And there's nothing you can do to change that. It is always happening. Now, it's not that you have to manifest anything. You don't have to manifest anything. The reality, from what I understand and what I've learned, is that there are infinite worlds. We change worlds every, millions of times every second. Like, we shift. As we shift our beliefs, we shift to a new reality. We don't have to create anything. We're already masters of manifestation. You just need to move your awareness and consciousness and your belief system to where you're happiest. See, if you believe that you deserve to have X, Y, Z, and you clear away the blockages, Mr. Blogs, how are you, mate? Good to hear from you. If you clear away those blockages, then you allow yourself to shift to a world that you are happiest with, right? It's just about realizing who you are, in all honesty. Who are you? What do you want? Live that way. Live that way. Ground it into your world. I want to say, Fred, I hope everything's been going well. Last week I didn't do a live because I had the flu thing's been going around, and I got shot down with it. Could hardly speak for a couple of days, which is hard for me. But yeah, so back tonight, mate, having a bit of a chat. So good to hear from you, mate. I hope your world is going well. But everyone, attitude is everything. Mr. Blogs here, he knows what I'm talking about. He's been listening to me for a little while. But it's your attitude. What do you want? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Who are you, right? Who are you? You have to work that out. But it's not hard to work out. Sit quietly. Think about yourself. Sit quietly, breathe, meditate, do the things that you might want to do. But have a think about who you are. What do you want to go off and do? Do you want to travel? Do you want to do a different job? Do you want to have a family? What experiences do you want to have in life? You don't need to do anything if what you want to do is, go out there and party and have fun and just really spread the positive joy of existence and, all that stuff, then go and do that. Life there's no laws that dictate we have to do and live life in any particular way. Live life in the best way you can. If you want to transform your life for the better, you just need to connect with who you are first. You have to have a serious look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I being the best version of myself I can be? If you are, awesome. If you're really happy with who you are, if you're doing things that you enjoy on a daily basis, if you're passionate about the things that you're doing, you are on the right path. You do not need me to pass on my same attitude, because that's what it is. Do things that you enjoy. If you lose the passion, in something you're doing, take stock. Doesn't mean that that's the only thing in life that you're meant to be doing. Maybe there's something else on the horizon that you need to switch your attention to. That might be actually sparking another area of passion within yourself. Go after the things that bring you excitement, right? There's infinite things out there to do. You're not going to get everything done in one lifetime. We live infinite lifetimes. We'll do this over and over again. We do it because we want to understand who we are as beings. We want the reflection and the growth of who we are through living lifetimes, through understanding ourselves through different lenses. If you are treating people the way you want to be treated, you are spreading that vibration. You are showing other people how amazing they can be too, just by going after the things that they want in their lives. If, me doing this is about me having a chat on YouTube, and Fred's heard me probably say this before, but it is about me. I'm about getting reflection on what I'm doing, what I think. It helps me. But if I help one person, two people, whatever, connect with their own selves, realize that the answers are within us all, right? The answers for what you want to do in your life is within you. It is not outside you. It is within you. Then, mate, awesome. Have a look, right? Have a look inwardly. Stop and take stock of what's been going on in your life. Don't get caught up in the quickening of life. Slow yourself down. Step out of the craziness for a bit. All of us need to do that from time to time. I highly recommend 5 minutes of just breathing, quiet breathing a day. Now, when I say breathing, yes, breathing in the way that someone might meditate. So you breathe deep in the nose, deep into your stomach, so your diaphragm, your belly button. You breathe deep in, push out your belly button, and then exhale out the mouth. And it's doing this over and over again for about 5 minutes. It does two things. It lets go of any stress or low vibration that you've absorbed during the day. So if you do that on a daily basis, you help to reduce the stress off yourself. Now, I'm not telling you don't have to listen to any visual meditations. You don't have to listen to a particular direction of what to see when you meditate. The basic meditation is breathing. The other aspect is that people don't realize that you actually naturally meditate all the time, right? Have we ever heard of going off with the fairies? All right. Hey, Robert, how you going, mate? People that zip off with the fairies, that's a form of meditation. Often people that are into music or into different arts and different things that they get engrossed in, they get so focused on it, but they lose track of time. You are meditating while you're doing something that you're passionate about. It is taking you to a level of gamma vibration that connects you with who you really are. The answers to life and what life is really about are inward. We express who we are externally, right? And we can get reflections of how we're going through the things that are created around us, because what happens in our external world actually gives us bounce back individually on how we're going. It's a reflection of who you are. If you're a very negative person and you're caught up in a lot of negative beliefs, you'll find a lot of those negative situations manifesting in your daily world. They're reflected in your world because you're creating them. Unbeknownst to most people, you're creating them. You can change that on a personal level if you try, if you take the time to shift something, if you take the time to take ownership of what you're thinking, what you're saying, and how you're acting. If you act like a dick, you'll attract other dicks into your world. You'll create shit in your life. That's Aussie slogan, Aussie slang. You'll create shit in your life, right? If you want good stuff to happen in your life, you have to act like a good person. If you act like a dick and you're not happy with the stuff happening in your life, it's because you're acting like a dick, right? Now, I've said that a few times now, but that is the basic understanding. Each person needs to take ownership of who they are and understand that you're more powerful than you realize, because you can create whatever world you want for yourself, right? Can we do a one-on-one life coach session at the Junction Hotel, Craig? At some stage, my friend, we are going to cross paths. I feel it in my bones, Fred. No problem. Look, it's something that it's a constant work in progress, everyone, right? I say this to you too, Fred. life is not, you do not get to a point in life where I've got all the answers and I've made it, yay, and I'm on top of the world and that's as far as it's going to go. No, because that would be disastrous, right? You want to have an existence that is endless, because you want to believe that we all live forever. And I believe that. Not in the physical body we're in, but I believe our consciousness continues on, whatever form that is. I think we never will be non-existent. We always will exist. But if you don't have more and more things to connect with and to take you forward with, then you run out of things to do, right? And I don't think we're ever going to run out of things to do. I don't think there's a level you're going to get to where you say, I know everything, because that would be pretty boring. I think that the discovery, and as we rediscover ourselves through physical lifetimes, like we come into these lifetimes not knowing, and then we awaken, like we realize that there's more to it than what maybe people that have raised us have realized, and we awaken those things within ourselves. It's like you get to experience everything for the first time again. That's the beauty of living a physical life, because I think on the other side where we come from, through the veil, whatever you want to call it, that we don't have anything in the way of who we are. I think we know who we are 100%. I think we're connected with everything that we are and what we do and everything. So to actually learn more about what it is to know yourself and to connect with yourself in different ways, we have to close off that knowing in these lifetimes. And I think without us, when I think about it, if we were planning this on the other side before we come to live this life, it makes sense to me that we don't want to remember before we come here. But the awakening, it's like a tsunami of realization. You don't get that unless you don't remember in the first place. So, it's pretty exciting. For me, life is expansion. Life is connecting more about, learning more about ourselves. There's so much still that, I myself, are looking to connect with and understand about who we are as human beings, as the beings that we are. That there's a lot of things yet to be awakened in the human being, to actually go forward and experience. And that's the exciting part about life, everyone, right? Like that there's so much to still discover that not even the great yogis of the world and the highly connected spiritual people of the world have got every answer. The answer is ongoing. I love Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The answer to life, the universe, and everything. It's 42, everyone. Means very little. But the concept of, existence, and the concept of, embracing that to the best of our ability, what you know now and believe now is okay, right? But it is, you only really change things when you prove something to yourself. It's very important to always be skeptical around, what you bring into your world, because what you prove to you is what's real. Always take what you like, chuck out what you don't like. I mean, there are things that a lot of people believe, but they haven't had a strong enough level of skepticism to weed out the crap, right? If you're too gullible, and a lot of people, even in the spiritual world, believe too much of everything. They're not listening to their intuition. They're not listening to their hearts when they're trying to connect with answers for who they are. If you feel excited about something, then that's your higher self. That's your message. Passion and excitement are the answer to the direction you should follow. in your life. If something comes along in your life and you're not that passionate about it, well, don't make it everything in your life. Don't put all your cards in there. You've got to have something that excites you. You've got to have something that's like, yes, this is going to be awesome, right? Whatever that is for the individual. You've just got to go out there, look at things in life, be open, be honest with yourself, be the best version of who you are, and believe that you are the person that has the power for you. No one has the power to control someone else. Now, I'm going to just touch on this as well. Some people in life think that they can control others, but when you're controlling someone else, it's not because you're controlling them. It's because they're letting you control them. All right? And that's not a good thing, right? We want to be, as beings, as part of this existence, we want to be empowering everyone with their own power, right? We're all a part. Do you know, let's look at an Aussie terminology here, right? When you play a particular game, let's play AFL, right? Let's say Australian rules footy. You can have a great football player in a team, but when you have a great team, it's 100 times better, right? One person does not transform everything into the best thing you can possibly have. But when you all connect as a group, when there's many of you on the same page, when you're all going in the same direction, you can have an amazing spectacle. And I think that's part of the reason that I think it's important, my message is important, that people start to take ownership of their lives, right? Empower yourself. You're important. One person can make a difference. One person can help the ripple effect. Hey, leather shoes, how you going? One person can start that ripple effect of dropping their little pebble in a pond, and hundreds of ripples flow out from that one person. You, as that one person, are a very, very important piece to the puzzle. We need all the pieces of the puzzle waking up and understanding what your unique shape is, yeah? People in the world often in the past have tried to be who they're not, have tried to be the same as everyone else so they get accepted. But if you have a jigsaw puzzle with all the same pieces, all the same shapes, they don't fit together. Jigsaw puzzles in general are all different shapes. We need to be our unique self. We need to be our piece of the puzzle, because your piece of the puzzle is massively important to the all that is, to this world, to transforming all of us as a whole, right? I mean, I don't know what difference my talking on my little live on a Sunday is going to make. But if it helps one or two or three of you guys to go after things from you, then hopefully that ripple effect will happen out from you with your friends, the people you care about. And the way you go forward in life starts to awaken others to do the same. I'm not alone. There's many people that think like me. And it's a meteorite stone, big or small, would you carry? What powers? Well, everything in our world, everything in our universe and existence is a permission slip, right? See this little beautiful stone here? Holds a certain vibration, okay? Okay, mate, how you going? And a meteorite is just like a crystal, just like anything else physical. You know, I think that in the physical world that certain things hold certain frequencies and they can help connect us to other parts of ourselves. We don't need a meteorite or a crystal or anything to be the amazing beings that we are, but sometimes we need these tools or permission slips to help us awaken to what we have, right? And that's what it is, right? I'm going well, my friend. I hope you are going well too. I didn't do a talk last week, so you know, because a bit of the flu throat was all crackly, and I don't think I would have been able to talk really well to anyone for any particular time. So I had a week off, and yeah, much better now. But I hope you're going well too, my friend. But yeah, tonight I've just really felt the appreciate it, mate. I just wanted to talk about the concept of being a metaphysical thinking person. It's honestly, it's pretty opposite to every religion in the world. Metaphysical thinking people empower themselves with the understanding that they are a part of the all that is. I'm a very spiritual person. I see myself as a very spiritual person, but I see myself as someone that understands that I'm a part of the existence of life. You know, I'm more than what I even realise I am at the moment, right? We're all trying to connect more. Go for it, my friend. Ask the question. You know, and that's what life is, discovering more of who you are. You're not going to do that by giving your power away to something else and saying I'm lesser than. You've got to take ownership that you are more amazing than you realise. Question. I'm waiting for your question. So short your journey without feeling like lost. Well, my friend, if you're feeling lost, it is probably because you're still trying to discover the next passionate thing on your journey. So there are probably things that you love to do in life. There's probably things that click with you. Well, obviously I'm not sure, but I find that when you connect with something that you're extremely excited about doing, something that you're personally passionate about, you are not going to feel lost anymore, because you find yourself a truth. The truth being, who are you? What do you want to do? If you can take away all the blockages in front of your world now and say to yourself, what's the one thing you want to do that you think is going to be the most exciting thing you could possibly do, taking away all the responsibilities, all the beliefs, all the blockages in your way now. What is the one thing that you want to be doing? You want to look at that area, right? You want to look at that area and find a way to do the thing that you're excited to do, that you're passionate about, because you'll find meaning, right? You'll find meaning. It's inside yourself. We've all got initial pathways or general directions that we wanted to take in this life. We can change things as we go along, no problem. But there are inbuilt things, I think, within a lot of us that we're passionate about particular things. Again, it's about connecting with our own piece of the puzzle. We're all very, very unique shapes. We have to connect with our own unique shape. It is not about being what everyone else is. It is not about following the masses. It is about going inwardly. Who are you? Be the best version of you can be, no matter how unique that is, because if it makes you feel good and excited to be that particular being, no one else has the right to tell you anything else. You believe in yourself, mate. You believe in yourself. That's it. It's your life, right? You chose to come here. Yeah. And look, the drinking it's a blockage, right? It's you're hanging on to that as a bit of a crutch, right? Because there are things that you probably haven't wanted to deal with and let go of, right? When drinking or smoking or taking drugs of any sort, they kind of put a smoke screen up in front of what the issues are behind inside yourself. So if you let go of the drinking, then up comes the feelings, whatever they might be, about particular things. Now, you have to decide that, am I ready to let that go? Am I ready to accept, yes, that happened to me, that whatever, right? Whatever it was, you're basically putting that screen in front of yourself from dealing with the issues that are within you. So, stopping drinking will probably bring up thoughts about particular things. Take the time to be good to yourself, and don't be hard on yourself, and just own the stuff, you know, because we go through these things in life for ourselves becoming stronger, right? When you come out the other side, when you accept, okay, those things happened, they weren't great, but I've learned a lot from that, and I'm going to go forward from this moment, not reliving it, not hanging on to it, accepting it, and then once I accept it, I let it go, and then you can start making room to let some really good stuff in, all right? So I really hope and I wish you the best with that. It is taking ownership of all parts. And, you know, individuals we can't run away from. We can't run away from that, can we? It's hard, but, mate, when I'm here, you want to drop me a line anytime on the page, mate, ask a question if things getting you down, whatever, no problem. Always happy to have a chat, always happy to throw out an idea. I'll do my best. But look, you know, I really hope that, like, at the moment, you know, let's talk about the world stuff going on at the moment. I know it's your personal stuff is your personal stuff, and you've all got to face and accept who you are. At the end of the day, you know, you are one part of a bigger you, right? But this is the existence that you're living. This is the lessons that you're learning. And it's okay to go through bad stuff, because a lot of bad stuff, when let go of, actually turn into positive experiences. They do, mate. They do. It's the attitude of the individual. You know, if you realize that what you're thinking and saying and doing is actually affecting and changing your life, of course you're going to act more positive. Of course you're going to act more abundant. You're going to be more open. You're going to be more loving, because you're going to allow all that stuff to come back to you when you act that way to others. It's like everyone in your world is a reflection of who you are. You know, if you feel negative about someone that comes into your world, it's you creating that situation to realize that you feel negative. You believe a negative thing about yourself because this particular reflection is making you feel negative. Yeah? You have to pay attention to the things that come into your world on a daily basis. If you have the same negative thing happening day on day on day, that's something that needs to be faced up to. That's something that you're screaming at yourself to realize that you believe. Because nothing can be created in your world unless you believe it to be so. Because you create your own reality. Everything comes back to that, yeah? I hope you guys are getting that. It all comes back to that as a central thing. You create your own reality. So your beliefs, the things that you think are true, and they're true for you because you believe them to be true, they're the things that are creating the reality in your world. They're not creating the same things in your neighbor. Your neighbor has got a different group of beliefs. They see the world completely differently to you, even though they live next door. Yeah? You need to pay attention to what's being manifested by you in your own world on a daily basis. So I say to everyone, try not to think about all the stuff from the past. Pay attention to what's happening on a daily basis now, because you don't want to be there for decades trying to dig through all the past stuff when the stuff that's being created, that's showing the beliefs that you have right now, is being created right now. So you've only got to focus day to day to day and be more positive on a day to day to day relevance, right? It is. And the world is the group collective, right? So there's a lot of things happening in the world. There's a lot of old energy that's coming up from the planet as it releases a lot of old negative beliefs, right? Control that's been going on in this world for a long time. There are levels of this that are being released now, you know. And so that's why I'm finding a lot more individuals are wanting to release their own negative beliefs as well. It's kind of aligning with the collective of the world a bit. Your part is about you. Your part's about you. You don't have to worry about the collective. The collective will be improved as you improve yourself. So your piece of the puzzle suddenly becomes, let's say there's 8 billion puzzle pieces, right? And everyone's unique and they're all red when they're negative. Well, as you clear your stuff, your puzzle piece becomes green. So the more and more of us that let go of our negative beliefs and we realize that it's our attitudes that transform our own lives, the more puzzle pieces start to become green. And as you get more and more green turning from red, the world will transform. But it's done one person at a time. There is a wave happening. There's a lot more people now realizing this. There's a lot more people that are awakening to this. So, focus on you. Focus on, your journey. Be the best version of yourself you can be. One of the things, I'll finish with this tonight, guys, but they had a drop of from the Department of War. If you're not aware of it, that's the Pentagon classified UFO files, UAP files. They dropped the fourth, group of videos, classified videos and documents yesterday, I think. So you can look up the latest UAP classified documents that have been released. Some amazing videos, some crazy looking objects doing crazy stuff. There's more to this world than what they've allowed us to see at this point, and it's starting to come out. And it's one of those things, the collective there's been a group of people hiding the bigger truth of existence from human beings for 80 years. And the departmentofwar.gov is the website. Go and check it out if you haven't checked it out. It's not a conspiracy. Extraterrestrials are not a conspiracy. They are here. And I think there's a lot more stuff to come. But the government in America is really starting to release all this. So interesting times. But look, guys, on that note, I hope we've got a little bit out of the chat tonight. I appreciate all of you that hang out, that like what I talk about. Creating your own reality is the truth of existence from my perspective, but that gives you the power to transform your world consciously in the way that you want. All right? In the way that you want. That's being a metaphysical thinking person, taking back your power and knowing that you have a say in your life. And on that note, I want you to know Craig's World rocks, but yours does too. All right? And I will see you all again very, very soon. If you ever do have any questions or things that you want to throw and get my thoughts on, any of the videos, you can drop a comment and put a little question thing in there, and I'll get back to you when I see it. And I'll see you the next live I do, guys. Take care of yourselves. Have a good week. See you later.